If I don't do nothing else, I'm gonna talk that law. Let's talk about it. But before I begin, for those who may not know me, I'm a Texas trial attorney. Y'all see the law license on the wall, signed by the 9 justices of the Supreme Court. I was minding my business. I was drinking my water. And somebody said I haven't been live in a long time. So I wanted to cover the Melly case to really highlight the similarities between Melly and YSL. So I'm going to go through this and just do this on a live version because I know YouTube. YouTube said you ain't been here in a while. We're not going to push your video. We're not going to let people know you're on live. It's okay. Watch it later. I have been away because court's been crazy since the beginning of the year. So I've been trying to catch up. So thank y'all for waiting, supporting behind the scenes, popping back in, popping out, seeing how I'm doing. Happy New Year. Hey, what's going on, KL? What's going on? Thank you for popping in. I wanted to cover some of the Melly issues because I have seen some craziness going on from the state of Florida. Somebody said, did Miss Love leave Georgia and go to Florida to teach them her ways? What's going on, Mr. Bruce? He said, I'm back from hiding in the bushes. Yes. Oh man, I've been reading the stories and watching the videos behind the scenes, and I'm like, okay, this is insane. And someone asked me to cover Melly. I said, why not? Why not? We can learn the law while we're talking about a trending case. What I want to do is play some of the videos so we can just kind of walk our way through it because the state is playing dirty. But who's surprised? Who's surprised that the state is playing? They up to they same old ways. Y'all know how they do. So I believe it's 2 days of hearings for Melly. We all know his attorney is under investigation. Somebody call 911. His attorney is under investigation. His attorney that he has right now. And I did reach out to, his attorneys. You know what they said? They said, now you know better. This case is pending. They ain't say that, but they said this case is pending, so we're not going to comment at this time. Y'all know they gave me the professional answer. They played me to the left. And obviously, as an attorney myself, I wouldn't want them to talk about the facts of the case or their strategy because obviously you'd be telling the other side, what you're going to talk about. I just want to talk about the process behind the scenes. But I understand their position. They don't want to talk about it right now, and that's cool. So hopefully when we get closer to the trial, maybe we can bring on his attorneys and talk to them. But I'm glad that they even responded. So, that's a positive. Okay. Hey, what's going on? What's going on? I'm going to play some of the videos so we can kind of walk through it to see what the hell is going on in Florida. Florida right there next to Georgia. So I wouldn't be shocked if they pulled over Miss Love, come over here. Now, how you do that with Young Thug? How you hide that evidence? How did you hide that a detective is lying? How do you hide evidence that can help the other side win? Teach me your ways, said the prosecutors in Florida. What's going on, Ms. Deborah C? Good to see you. Somebody says Mr. Bruce just lied to the judge. Why not? They've been doing it. I mean, this case is so similar to Young Thug's case. I mean, we're on judge number 3 for Melly. Melly's been in custody without a bond for 6 years. 6 years. You got detectives lying. You got prosecutors, misconduct, detectives hiding evidence. I mean, it's so similar. Mistreatment in the jail. Melly hasn't been able to see his family in 3 years. He hasn't been able to see his lawyers in person for over 2 years. This is some crazy stuff. 6 years, no bond, right? No bond. Now we all know that ain't right. Somebody say that ain't right. Let's play. I'm gonna play a little bit of this. I ain't did this in a while, so let me see if I even remember how to share my screen. Let's see. All right, this might work.
As to what there is that may be a conflict, he is in no position to answer.
Hold on. What I'm gonna do is before I get to that one, I'm gonna play this one first, because this one is the day before that one happened.
Let me just put on the record real quick everything that I've read in preparation for the all pending motions that I gave you all day today and all day tomorrow for. I endeavored to try to read everything in the electronic file, all filings and any authority cited therein that took place since the mistrial was declared in Mr. Brown's previous trial, which was July 22nd, 2023. So these are all the pleadings that I read that were filed by the defense. I did read also all the orders that Judge Murphy entered, but he realized some of these may be due, but in the abundance of caution, so I would be prepared. I nevertheless did read all of them.
Okay, so this part is kind of hard to hear. What I'm gonna do is fast forward to the good part. He's gonna go through and just read some of the motions that has been thought up until the point he took over.
The state's response to the defendant's order denying the state's motion for reconsideration.
I believe in the court, we do not know.
Here we go.
Entered January 25th.
All right. Okay, here we go. I believe this is the part where it starts. So now I'm gonna give y'all some pretext. So Melly's lawyer, her name is Ravon Liberty. She was secretly under investigation by the same department that's prosecuting Melly. So what they did was they went through her iCloud, her phone, her whole phone, behind her back, and she just found out about it a whole year after the fact. So now that's a big issue because you went through her phone, you have all of her emails between lawyers, her trial strategy. I mean, you're playing dirty. You're trying to see what cards she's holding in her hand so you can win the next trial, because as some of y'all may not know, the first trial he had ended in a mistrial. So it's a rematch. It's time to play again, but this time the state said, I'm going to get the playbook. So what they did was they said, okay, his lawyer has been doing something that she has no business doing, allegedly. So we're going to subpoena all of her records, her phone, and we're not going to tell her about it. We're not going to tell her about it. It's going to be a secret. But guess what? For whatever reason, Apple notified her. They said, hey, just to let you know, a year ago, the Broward County Sheriff's Office had a warrant from the district attorney's office, and we gave them all your information. So yes, they did have a warrant. For sure they had a warrant, but they did not disclose it to Melly. And why is this a big deal? Because his lawyer is working a case, and if the other side knows the game plan, then he could possibly be sentenced to death. So, I mean, this is a very big deal. This is life and death. It's not a game. So stealing her information, and I say stealing because they did it behind her back without nobody knowing, I think it's a violation. That's one of the reasons. The second reason, Mr. Bruce, dirty. The second reason is it could be a conflict, because what the prosecutors and the sheriff's department is saying, Melly and his lawyer colluded with each other during the first trial to keep a witness from showing up. So that is a conflict, because Melly and his lawyer may be co-defendants in the near future. if it's true that they colluded together to stop a witness from showing up to his first trial. Now, what could have happened is the witness could have talked to Melly's lawyer. Melly's lawyer probably said, you don't got to come if you don't want to. They can't force you or something like that. I don't know if that's the case or not, but that could have happened. And now the prosecutor is saying that's witness tampering. So it's a conflict because if Melly's lawyer may be his co-defendant, she may not do her 100% best while she's representing him on his capital murder trial. So it's a mess. It's a mess. And this is one of Melly's other attorneys that is now arguing before the judge. He wants to know what was in the warrant, who complained that this happened, what was in the affidavit, why did y'all take out this warrant right now? Y'all couldn't wait till the capital murder trial was over and then go back and prosecute additional crimes, alleged additional crimes. So let's listen.
Order denying defendant's motion to set aside stay, and order granting defendant's motion to modify stay to allow discovery to proceed. Entered May 2nd, 2024. Order denying defendant's motion to set aside stay, and order granting defendant's motion to modify stay to allow discovery to proceed. That's a order denying the state's motion for rehearing and reconsideration of the court's order modifying the stay to allow discovery to proceed, issued on May 2nd, 2024. That's issued on July 16th, 2024, non pro tunc to May 16th, 2024. So that's everything that I looked at, as well as any authority cited therein, statutes, case law, or otherwise. You don't have to repeat yourself, but you certainly can if you would like. I have the balance of all day today. I'm going to take a lunch break between 12:30 and 1:45. I can likewise give you the entire day tomorrow. I won't limit either side to present whatever evidence, witnesses, or testimony they would like to present. Defense, I'm going to start with you. And I also did read Rutledge versus State, which is 157 3rd 830, regarding the defense motion for hearing to determine potential conflict. So whenever you're ready, you can proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Rutledge and other cases, federal cases, because state court really hasn't delved into this area as much as the federal case law does, indicates that there are certain things we need to find out first of all. So I don't know if this is the hearing or you want to set a hearing, but the bottom line of it is that the first thing we need to know whether Miss Liberty is still under investigation. We were told before the hearing by the state, I have no reason to doubt their word, that she still is under investigation. So that raises for us a number of problems. It may look on the surface that the only thing is, does Miss Liberty need to get permission from Mr. Demons to stay on the case and for him to waive conflict, but it's much deeper than that. And the reason why it's much deeper than that is we don't know what the state has subpoenaed. We do not know what they have in their possession. We do not know, other than the Apple accounts, if they've subpoenaed other things. Therefore, we do not know whether communications that we have had with Miss Liberty have been intercepted, and therefore, we've been told that nobody else on the defense team is under investigation, but there are certainly confidential communications that we would have had with Miss Liberty. There are communications about trial strategy that we would have had with Miss Liberty that we do not know who is in possession of them, what is going on with them. Now, the case law seems to be pretty clear that during this type of process with an attorney who's on a case, that the state is bound to return innocent or innocuous or confidential communications to Miss Liberty. But she has not received any. In fact, she didn't know there were any that were to be received until the date that's mentioned in the motion. So where does that put us? As I said, we've been told that the defense team, other than Miss Liberty, is not under investigation. But we do know that there's an ongoing investigation. What we have now been working for nearly a year or over a year with the state being in possession of documents dealing with Miss Liberty. If in fact Miss Liberty has to get off the case because of the conflict that she would have, this is a year too late. We should have been informed of this a year ago. So the defense team and Miss Liberty, and therefore Mr. Demons, for a year are working on this case with the state knowing that there's the potential that Miss Liberty will be indicted or an information filed against her in the exact same case of tampering with evidence and with witnesses. And if that becomes the case, she obviously, whether there's a conflict or not, that's been waived up until that time. I think the case law is pretty clear. At that time, if she has charges against us, she has to bail out. In fact, I believe, and I'm not sure because it's federal case law, but I'd like to read to the court this paragraph from the case of U.S. versus Shagan, 661 Fed Sup 1289, 2009. In contrast to McLean, where the defense counsel was under investigation for a crime unrelated to charges against the defendant, here, defense counsel would have been under investigation for crimes that threatened the integrity and fairness of the trial. Were the government to inform the court at the eve of trial or during the course of trial that the defense team was under investigation for witness tampering, under the principles of McLean and as conceded by Cronin, the defense team would be forced to withdraw its representation of Dr. Shagan. In fact, David Marcus made the motion orally as soon as he heard about the investigation. Such a development would have deprived the defendant of a defense team that had been intimately familiar with his defense, causing him severe prejudice. And that's where we're traveling down right now. Even if we stay on the case right now, if charges are brought against Miss Liberty and they happen to fall before the end of Mr. Demons' trial, we may be forced to, under the law, to withdraw as an entire defense team. But a question still needs to be asked. Why did the state wait, not to tell us, because they never told us, we had to find it out through Apple, that there was an investigation? Because a year ago, we would have sat with Mr. Demons, and he may have said, you know what, I need a new defense team. And we would have been off the case. But for a year, basically, we've been on a case that maybe we should not have been.
Okay, so that's pretty self-explanatory. The attorney is saying for a year, y'all misled us. Y'all never told us that she's under investigation. As a matter of fact, y'all still haven't told us. The only reason we're talking about it today is because Apple came back and told us. I don't know why Apple waited a year. Maybe it's their policy. After a year, they tell everyone who had their phone searched about it. I'm not sure. But in any event, if it hadn't been for Apple, then Melly would have been going to trial playing a rigged game because he would have had no idea that the prosecutors knew all of his attorney's game plan behind the scenes. What I will say, this appears to be revenge from the prosecutor's office. Most of y'all may know, if y'all been following the Melly case, a prosecutor was accused of misconduct. Does that sound familiar? A prosecutor accused of misconduct. Does that sound familiar? Does that sound like a YSL issue? So a prosecutor was accused of misconduct, but this time in this case, they kicked her off. So she was kicked off the case. And this lady here is a new prosecutor, but they're all friends. So now this is revenge. And now we're going to get you back for having our teammate kicked off. Now we're coming to get one of your lawyers not only kicked off, but one of your lawyers charged with a crime, a felony crime. Let's keep going.
There are things that we need to know. We need to know who reviewed the warrant, who signed the warrant for the state as far as authorizing. We need to know whether there was a tainting. If all this information was gathered and given to the state attorneys that are prosecuting this case right now, there are innocent, innocuous, and confidential communications that will be in the hands of the state that is improper. A tainting should have been set up that reviews the documents and makes sure only those that are specific to the search warrant are looked at by the trial team. Questions need to be asked. If in in fact Ms. Liberty is under investigation, then why were the subpoenas sent out and why did that investigation begin now? And what I mean by that is there's a statute of limitations. The state was under no obligation to begin that investigation until Mr. Demons' case is over. Therefore, there is no perceived conflict. There is no conflict because we don't know that they're thinking about investigating Ms. Liberty. But instead, we were not put in that position to know that, and a year went by. If they had waited to the conclusion of Mr. Demons' case, as I said, then there is no conflict. So the only thing that I get from this is that there's the chance that within the next whatever year, or 10 months until the trial date, 9 months, whatever it is exactly, that Miss Liberty is in fact facing charges for him. And if that occurs, then A, she can't try the case. I'm not sure the rest of the defense team can try the case. And don't know, and a prejudice to Mr. Demons would be monumental that at this late stage you'd have to get a whole new defense team. So we need these questions answered. It's not just as simple, is there an ongoing investigation? We need to know the extent of it. We need to know the whys of when it was instituted and why wasn't it, why didn't the state, wait for this matter to be over? We need to know whether the state, if they're going to charge Ms. Liberty with this crime of tampering, do they intend to try her at the same time as Mr. Demons, or a separate trial? Obviously, at the same time, it even raises more of a conflict.
So the lawyer just said he don't know what the state is planning. They may try to try his attorney and Melly at the same time. They're trying Melly for capital murder. I mean, that is crazy. I doubt they would do that, but you never know. But he has a good point. Because what if they bring charges against her in the middle of the trial? Then what is she supposed to do? Is Melly supposed to just stay with her, or is he supposed to find somebody else? His life is on the line, so he just can't get anybody at the last minute when he's been trusting these lawyers for 6 years. So it's crazy.
We have a question, and that scares us. Miss Liberty has not been allowed to see Mr. Demons in person for the last, before I got on the case, for at least the last year and a half. When she goes to the jail, she must pick up the phone and use one of those phones to talk to Mr. Demons on the other side of the glass partition by phone. Have they been tapped? Have they been listened into? We need to know what communications, what has gone on. So it's not just as simple as, is there an open investigation? Now, as far as going forward on these other motions that you said, we can't go forward as a defense team on any of these motions until we talk to Mr. Demons and have him understand what's going on. And for him, first of all, to make the decision. Yes, I want to keep this defense team. Yes, I want to keep Ms. Liberty. Or no, I need a new defense team. We can't do anything until that's decided. I will say that after doing the research that I did over the weekend and came up with the case I cited to the court, I think all members of our defense team need to call up the Florida bar and to see whether we're obligated, now that we know that she's under investigation, that we're obligated or not to withdraw from the case, regardless of Mr. Demons' position. So that's where we stand today. With all apologies to the court, though, I do not believe we can go forward with these motions. Mr. Demons has a lot of thinking to do. Hopefully, the court will give us a hearing if some of these questions are answered, and then he can make a logical and an informed decision. And by that time, we can find from the bar whether we have obligations regardless of his decisions.
Rutledge said, I have to find out if there's an investigation, and the state says there is. What is your authority for all those other things that you said you want to answer? Because I didn't find any authority. I don't even know how to do that. But, well, do you have any authority? I understand you're saying, that's Judge, this is what we'd like. I read what Rutledge says. That's what I'm doing right now. But you want to know about investigations. You want to know about a judge who reviewed a warrant. How would you suggest I do that? And more importantly, do you have any authority that supports any of those requests you just made.
Well, the authority that I have, Your Honor, is the Sixth Amendment to the United States Constitution, which requires, which allows my client to have competent counsel. And without being able to go into these things, and I also rely on the 14th Amendment due process, without being able to go into these things and have a hearing where all these things are ferreted out.
A hearing, that's what I'm asking. What do you, I don't want you to confuse some type of hearing defending this liberty. That's not really the issue. That's a yes or no question. Is she under investigation? And the answer is yes. So the only other question that Rutledge requires is that Mr. Demons has to decide, does he want to go forward with her, or does he want conflict-free counsel, which I think he's certainly entitled to. And if he wants to apply that to all of his lawyers, he may do that. But that's a discussion between you and your client. I can't intervene in that. You're asking me to do fact-finding on behalf of your client so your client can make an informed decision.
Well, right. I will file another motion for prosecutorial misconduct and ask for a hearing on that. Subpoena witnesses in. The state will move to quash the witnesses that I will be calling in, and we'll have hearings going down that path. But this is something, no offense to this court, but I do not know how this court says that's the only thing that matters to me. There's a whole laundry list that deal with not only conflict.
That's what I'm asking. Do you have any case law that tells me I have to do that? I'm happy to do that. You cited Rutledge, and I read Rutledge. Rutledge doesn't
I
say
have
any
no
of those
case
things.
law in front of me right now that says you have to do that. But I would think it would be the inherent authority of this court that you should do that. And there's certainly nothing that says you can't do that.
That's usually that podium that talks to me about my inherent authority, which I don't exercise. I'm happy to do whatever a statute, case law,
Well,
criminal procedure tells me to do. I don't make up things on my own.
then I ask the court, let's go one step at a time. Right now, Mr. Demons now has been informed that Ms. Liberty is under investigation. And let us see what he decides. If he doesn't want us on the case anymore because of this, then all the things I've raised will be raised by another set of counsel. But if he does, we will be filing other motions in order so that we can get these questions answered, because Mr. Demons needs to know these before, quite candidly, he can make that choice. He can say right now that he wants Ms. Liberty, but after these facts come out, depending on what those facts are, he may decide he doesn't want Ms. Liberty or the rest of the defense team. So we'll take it one step at a time.
So your request is you want me to hear any of these today?
I don't think we can.
When would you like me to reset them?
I do not know how long it will take. Miss Liberty is not in town yet right now. She's on a plane. She got snowed in Montana yesterday. Drove from Montana to Seattle. She was on an airplane ready to come here, and they canceled the flight while she was on the tarmac. She got another flight, including Phoenix. She's now on a plane from Phoenix to here. Almost all these motions that you went through are Miss Liberty's motions. So for logistical purposes, we can't hear those motions this morning at least. We're hoping that she's back at 1:30. But I do think it takes some time for us to talk to Mr. Demons. She certainly needs to talk to Mr. Demons. So, you want to reset it for, I don't know.
Okay, so what the attorney is saying, this is one of Melly's other lawyers. He's basically saying, Judge, Melly cannot make this decision right now. How can he make a decision whether he want to fire all his attorneys or get new attorneys right now? That's insanity. He can't do it. It's not enough time. And even if he was to bring in another team, could that team be ready in time for the next trial? It's not like a shoplifting case, something small where you can get prepared for it pretty quickly, whether your client did it or not. This is somebody's life is on the line. So his attorney has a good point, and I don't see how the judge can fix this right now.
You can speak to him tonight sufficiently or not. You want to put it on for possible motions tomorrow and status tomorrow? You can, but I'm not sure that's enough time to talk to him.
It's not enough time, what you can do. And we need, if I may,
Yes, sir.
we need to file, based upon your Honor's comments, we need to file a motion requesting certain things about this investigation. Concerning the tainting, whether or not they relayed any of that information to the prosecutors or the investigators in this case. And I want the court to know, they didn't tell us. Apple informed Miss Liberty that a search warrant was issued on her Apple account back on December 13th, 2023. As a result of that, I contacted the Broward Sheriff's Office and spoke to Christian Sabanis. And I sent them a text message that said, I was just advised that Broward Sheriff's Office issued a search warrant on Miss Liberty's Apple account on December 13th, 2023, over 1 year ago. I would like to discuss this with you. He responded by saying, hi, Stu, I have zero knowledge of this search warrant or its application. Your email is the first I have heard of this. I would defer to whoever the affiant was. I don't have access to that information. I in turn contacted the state, and they said they would get back to me, which I spoke for the first time this morning to the state concerning this. I think we need to know the procedure of the so-called pink team so that any privileged communications were not relayed to the prosecution team and or its investigators. We also need to know why, since Miss Liberty represents numerous other clients, whether or not they have severed or separated those privileged communications that have nothing to do with their so-called investigation. We need to find this out.
Well, do you even know that the investigation has to do with his representation? That's exactly what I was just thinking, what you just said.
I assume it is, since it's issued from the Broward Sheriff's Office.
How do you know it isn't related to one of our other clients or one of our other cases?
Well,
Has
that's all I
anyone
have.
said anything that this has anything to do with Mr. Demons?
I can't answer that without seeing the search warrant.
We're not here to make work. Does this have to do with Mr. Demons?
It does, John.
Okay.
So can you give them a copy of the search warrant?
No, because it's a pending investigation that's still ongoing.
How does Mr. Demons make a decision about whether he wants to waive any potential conflict or not without having that information?
The only thing I can say, Your Honor, is again, it's a pending investigation. Knowing that she's under investigation is what Rutledge talks about. We can't give anything over until it's
Well,
officially completed.
With all due respect, but this is the due process part when the state's seeking the death penalty. The state's seeking the death penalty. So you need to turn over the affidavit and the search warrant.
You heard what he said. This is a death penalty case. Woman, turn it over and turn it over right now.
So the lawyers can make it. The due process part when the state's seeking the death penalty. The state's seeking the death penalty. So you need to turn over the affidavit and the search warrant so the lawyers can make an informed decision. All right.
It does not have to do with the homicide case.
Well, in any case, he needs to know if there is a potential conflict of interest. He's either going to make an informed, intelligent waiver of that, or she will no longer be his lawyer. And then he has to make the same decision for all of his other lawyers. And he is going to trial September the 10th, 2025. So we need to do this now. So how long will it take for you to get a copy of the affidavit and a copy of the search warrant and give it to opposing counsel?
I'll speak with my office and you can have a week to figure this out.
Judge, they've had since December of 23. They didn't even have the courtesy to inform us of a pending investigation. We had to learn this from Apple.
But you're telling me it relates to this case.
To the tampering case.
So why would this be different than any other search warrant in any other criminal case? The defense counsel would be entitled to it.
Because she's not a subject that's been charged yet, potentially could be. It's pending investigation. All I can say is, again, pending investigation, there is a team in place, and it's still pending. So it's not like we have to hand over discovery for her. She's not listed defendant yet.
No, but let me repeat myself. Mr. Demons has to make an informed decision about who he wants as lawyers. He's now been sitting in our jail for 2,159 days. So how long would you like to be able to make that decision?
I can't determine when the investigation will be over, that's up to the Broward Sheriff's Office, but I can, as I said, I'm just asking for a week to determine whether or not we need to file any sort of motion to prevent the search warrant from being handed over.
I mean, I just can't imagine the legal grounds that would not happen in this particular case. It's a death
I understand that. And then I'm asking for at least a day or two. At
penalty. You
minimum.
decide by tomorrow. I've also reserved all of tomorrow. I took over Division FT. Judge Murphy had 44 pending first-degree murder cases. I've set them all for trial. I'm booked to trial through July of 2026. So if you all think I have 2 entire days at some point in the next 18 months to do these again, I do not. So
Understood.
I'm not sure what it is you want me to do. You don't want me to do anything else today.
We can't under the Florida rules.
So do you want me to leave them on for tomorrow? You will have the balance of today to discuss all these issues with Mr. Demons. And state you will have the balance of today to discuss some reason why you can't just turn over this affidavit and search warrant.
That's
I
fine.
mean, it may be something innocuous. By the way, for the record, I don't know anything about this. No one brought me a search warrant, so, but maybe it's something so de minimis that Mr. Demons is going to say that's fine. If there's any conflict, I'll waive it, and let's get to work. Or if not, I guess he's going to have to go find 5 other lawyers to do this who are going to be ready to try a capital case in 9 months. So, how about tomorrow at 9:30?
We'll be here.
Stay tomorrow at 9:30.
That's fine, Judge.
And it can't, again, I'm not picking on you, but the answer can't be, my office told me X, Y, Z. Someone better be standing here with some authority that tells me they can't do it. Okay?
Just one other thing,
Yes, sir.
you mentioned about the trial schedule, that we're obviously going to try to do. I just want to let you know, the matters that were appealed are still up in front of the 4th DCA. The state, I believe, just filed the last document in the case, or there may be one more that they need to file, one more reply brief. I would suspect that it's going to be set down for oral argument, and then I don't know when we will get a ruling. The problem is the stay that was issued by your previous judge. We cannot go into anything on any type of discovery as far as depositions, as far as motions, as far as anything dealing with the matters that are up on appeal. So when that all comes back, we will be rushed to get everything else done. Just want to let the court know, we're under the mercy of the 4th.
Is there anything pending at the 4th DCA regarding the tampering?
Yes, everything that was on the homicide is also on appeal for the tampering because it's the same evidence.
Yep.
And Judge Murphy entered an order.
Entered an order that says you can't do depositions.
We can do depositions on things that aren't on appeal. So we have been doing depositions on things that aren't on appeal.
For example, you did not read, unless I missed it, but there is a motion in which I'm asking the court to make the state tell us what of the 2 million or whatever amount of Instagram messages they intend to use at trial. That was filed a long time ago. We can't have that hearing because the Instagram messages, the whole thing is up on appeal. So we can't even go into that motion. Those are some of the things that await you.
Well, can I give you rulings on all of those? Depending on what, I mean, if I rule some messages are in and some messages are out, for example, when the 4th DCA says they're all out, then they're all out.
Judge, I wanted to move this case. I'm just,
Do you have any objection to doing that?
we're not the ones that filed this thing.
Do you all have an objection to doing that?
Well, I think I'm confused on the motion that you're bringing up because all of the Instagram, if I remember correctly, I have to look, is up on appeal.
Right. Right.
My bad, I had my mic muted. It's been a long time. But yeah, similar to YSL, they wanted to bring in Instagram messages and Instagram posts and the other side wants to keep those messages out. So, I mean, similar to YSL, same thing. I mean, this case could have took place in Georgia. And now we have even the lyrics. They wanted to use, y'all know Murder on My Mind. That's a song by Melly. It was a popular song that blew up, and they wanted to use that. So a lot of stuff is being appealed right now. And what they're telling this judge is, Judge, we can't even go forward right now because we're still waiting on the appeals court. And the judge was like, forget the appeals court. We're going to go forward. And whatever the appeals court decides later, then they decide later. And then the lawyers are saying, well, we won't have enough time because if they say they come in, the messages come in, then our whole strategy change. If they say the messages stay out, then we use a different strategy. So, I mean, everything just seems rushed. This judge said that he's not going to be clear until 2026, July of 2026. So if they don't go to trial this year, then Melly would have to wait not only the rest of this year, but most of the following year, 2026, which is crazy. That means he'll be in jail almost a decade before he gets a fair trial. So let's keep going.
So, I mean, it would kind of a waste of time to do the motion.
No, a waste of time is reserving 2 entire court days and doing nothing. That's a waste of time. So do you have any objection to going forward and the hearing and ruling on any and everything that's pending?
I think that we should start with the things that don't affect the appeal, and then, because there's plenty of those to be heard, and then we can go forward potentially with the other ones.
Then I'll be candid, I do not think we were hearing the Instagram matter whatsoever. So I did not look at that motion.
Okay, so why don't we do it this way, all right? He's gonna remain on the docket tomorrow. I have a few other matters on both FX and FT, so let's call it 9:30 tomorrow. And defense, you can come in and tell me if you had a chance to talk to your client, because if he's gonna waive any potential conflict, I guess it doesn't matter.
Yes, it does, Your Honor, because he'd be waiving a conflict without knowing what's in the search warrant affidavit.
Correct.
So therefore it would be an invalid waiver because he's not totally informed of the facts.
Okay, you're gonna tell me what you wanna do, state, maybe you can identify the motions that you think we can go forward. I mean,
We sort of addressed it in the motion to strike the notice, because we've been asking since our hearing in October to know what motions are going forward the next 2 days. Couldn't get an answer. We've asked in depositions from Ms. Liberty, couldn't get an answer. We emailed, we couldn't get an answer. And then just a few days ago, we got a notice of hearing. Half those motions aren't even filed within the court file in Odyssey. So we have identified, I think, 4 that we are ready to go on, that we filed responses on. There's no motion filed for somebody's.
you're gonna go to trial in September. All right, I'm not prejudging things.
I hope so, Judge.
No, I can absolutely guarantee you, he's gonna go to trial in September. So I'm gonna do everything that I can. If I have to rule on things.
Y'all heard what the judge said. No matter what, he's going to trial in September. No matter what Melly decides, if he want new lawyers, he want to keep his old lawyers. Whether he knows what his lawyer is being accused of, because right now he really don't know. All he knows is his lawyer phone was searched. He don't know what she's being accused of and what they are alleging. So he don't know whether he should fire her or not. So, you know, this is crazy. But the judge, I get it. He wants Melly to go home or get his case resolved, whatever the case, go home, go to prison, but don't sit in jail without a trial. But at the same time, you can't like speed it too fast, because if you speed it too fast, then Melly won't get a fair trial. And I think that's what the issue is right now. I think the state should just turn over what they have, because they are the ones who created this whole mess.
During trial, which is an awful way to do things, because I know you both know, but if that's what it comes to, then that's what we're gonna do. So,
Assuming we're still on the case. And that's a big assumption at this moment.
And just, we're still asking for proper notice of what we're actually
I'll
going to hear.
take the blame for that. All pending motions. That's why I put that down to the very law. All pending motions. They're asking for I believe they're asking for a Daubert hearing on cell phone records. They're asking for a Daubert hearing on some other matter, cell phone mapping. There's a whole bunch of things that.
Some of those have already been ruled on, Your Honor. The ones that they've noticed, I think, and again, Ms. Liberty admitted to this the last time we were here in front of Your Honor, that she filed things with the wrong case number, wrong title, she's going to fix that. None of it has been fixed. So the state is entitled to proper notice so that we can respond accordingly.
We'll see you tomorrow morning. Fair enough?
Okay, I'll see you at 9:30 tomorrow. Ms. Wilcox, does that otherwise conclude FX and FT for today? Okay, so then FX and FT are both otherwise being accessed until tomorrow, which is?
Excuse me.
Yes, sir.
I've been told that Mr. Demons has federal court tomorrow morning on his civil hearing. Does corrections have any idea of that?
Not tomorrow, sir.
Huh?
It's not tomorrow.
It's not tomorrow?
I believe it's January 17th.
17th. Forget what I just said. Thank you. We don't represent him on that.
Tomorrow is Tuesday, January the 7th. FX and FT, we're doing recess until then at 8:45 a.m. I hope you all have a good rest of your morning. All right, Mr. Court Reporter, that is it. All right.
All right, y'all. So we'll jump in. So the next day, his attorney, who they were discussing, she actually made it to town. It was some weather issues. You know, there's been a lot of snow across the country, so she finally made it. So we're gonna go to the next day to see what's really going on. She said free Melly. He been in there a long time. So I do think they should get to the bottom of what's really going on. Let's jump right in to see when she showed up. So this will be the next day. Let's see if this will work.
This is just a continuation of yesterday. I did get, and I read, as well as the authority cited therein, the state's motion for rehearing and reconsideration of the defendant's or tenant's motion to compel disclosure of the Apple search warrant related to attorney Ravon Liberty. I don't know that I actually conducted a formal hearing. I just asked the state to turn over a copy of the search warrant and affidavit. Ms. Counsel, let me ask you this. I read your authority. Would you agree that they're entitled to a copy of just the search warrant, not the affidavit, just the search warrant?
At some point, but not at this point necessarily.
Well, can you explain that to me? Because if I sign a search warrant for someone's home, and VSO goes to their home and executes the search warrant, and they're there, they give them a copy of the search warrant.
Correct. But
Upon
in
its
this case, it's
execution.
Apple that the warrant is being executed upon, not the party themselves.
And you think your authority says that she's not even entitled to a copy of the search warrant?
Yeah, that's correct, Judge. Yes.
That's your position?
Yes, Judge.
Okay. Okay, well, over the state's objection, I'm ordering you to turn over a copy of the search warrant. I'll put that in a written form today, so you can litigate that as you see fit, but I certainly think she's entitled to a copy of the search warrant. Probably that's it at this point. So, defense, I'm happy to hear anything you want to tell me, but based on our discussion yesterday, I think where we're at is I need to give you a date very soon in the future. It's a date in February, which is what I'm looking at. And at that point in time, you're gonna have to come back in here and tell me, and I'm gonna have to have a discussion with Mr. Demons. I'm gonna start that discussion this morning, so he understands that he's the captain of the ship. This is his decision, but he's gonna have to tell me if he wants Ms. Liberty to continue to be his lawyer or not. He's gonna have to tell me if he wants all of you to continue to be his lawyers or not, or he's gonna have to tell me that he's gonna seek other counsel, but I think that needs to happen sooner rather than later.
We concur with that issue. I'm confused, and I apologize to the court. Is the court entertaining this motion for reconsideration and not?
There was no motion or ruling. I think she's entitled to listen, Mr. Demons is entitled to heightened due process. The state
Yes.
is seeking the death penalty. It is very clear that one of his lawyers is under investigation right now.
Okay.
He is entitled to have as much information as I have the ability to give him before he has to make a decision. Is there a conflict of interest? Does he want to waive that conflict of interest and continue with that lawyer as part of his representation? Or does he not? Does he want the lawyer to withdraw? And again, the Fourth Supreme Court has been very clear on this. He's the captain of the ship.
Absolutely.
He makes this decision. So if there was, again, I'll repeat what I said, I think to Mr. Aronson yesterday, If you all had some other authority that says, I have some additional power to assist in the fact finding here, I would hear what the state has to say about it, but I would probably be inclined to do that. But my inherent authority, or citing the U.S. Constitution, although I very strongly believe in the U.S. Constitution, this is I'm not involved in this. The underlying facts that are going to make a determination is whether there's a conflict and what Mr. Demons wants to do. This is completely 100% a decision between himself and his lawyers. I don't have anything to do
We're
with it.
not disputing that.
So I don't know what else I can do at this point. You've asked me to press pause on all these motions. I'll press pause. I'm not going to move this trial date. This trial is going forward in September. So if these motions are heard next month, or they're heard in March, or they're heard in August, or they're heard contemporaneously during his trial, which again would not be the most ideal way to do things. If that's what ends up happening, that's what ends up happening. But the one thing I can tell you is not going to happen is someone that has been in custody for 2,160 days, his trial is not going to be delayed under any circumstance. So that being said, what else would you like me to do this morning?
Well, a couple things. Since the state filed a motion for rehearing, there are misstatements in their motion that need to be corrected. Since we received this early this morning and saw it for the first time, we did not file any written plea response. And if I may, just go through the corrections that we saw. It's on number 1, it says the search warrant was issued in December of 2024. It was 23, not 24, a year earlier.
We agree with that, but that way,
In paragraph number 2, they said that the state disclosed an ongoing investigation to Miss Liberty. That is absolutely untrue. We learned of it through Apple. They confirmed it yesterday for the first time, over a year after the search warrant was executed. Paragraph number 5 indicates that this investigation is separate and apart from the defendant's current case. It conflicts with paragraph 11 that implies that this investigation is related to the tampering case of Mr. Demons. Is it unrelated or is it related? I think the court needs to know that, because if it's related, I believe, and we will file a written response under discovery, he's entitled to that information, anything that leads to relevant and important information. And I'm not asking the court to rule on it at this point, but I want the court to know that if it's related to his present charges under 3.220, we're entitled to that information. They make a statement that regardless of what Mr. Demons wants and is willing to waive the conflict, they believe that Ms. Ravon must get off the case regardless of that. That's their assertion. They have to prove it.
Wow. So what the lawyer just said, yes, that is Miss Liberty, the lady sitting next to him. Yeah, it's crazy because what the state replied is that no matter what, Miss Liberty needs to get kicked off the case. So maybe this is not about a criminal investigation. Maybe they want her kicked off the case because she got one of their teammates, co-workers, colleagues kicked off the case. And that's pretty much what the state is saying. No matter what, she needs to go, which is crazy. I mean, why do they matter? Why do it matter? Why do they care that he has her for a lawyer or any other lawyer of his choosing?
Ms. Ravon must,
Hold up.
Mr. Demons wants and is willing to waive the conflict. They believe that Ms. Ravon must get off the case regardless of that. That's their assertion. They have to prove it. And I want to put the court, the state on notice that they must prove. They can't merely allege that the conflict is so extent that even if this young man wants to waive it, they're going to come in here and say she must get off the case. That's what they say in this plea, in paragraph number 11. That's a question for the court to determine, and they have to present evidence of that fact.
Get
We are still under the same impression that we don't have enough information. Pursuant to Your Honor's request, Mr. Aronson and I spoke to Mr. Demons. I call him Melly if the court will allow me.
I'd actually prefer that you use.
Mr. Demons?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Thank you.
Mr. Demons, we discussed the potential of that. And if the court accepts my representation, or the court can inquire from him, he informed us that he doesn't have enough information to make that decision.
You're
And I
talking to
want
me
to-
about privileged communication.
Well,
I'm going to talk to Mr. Demons at the conclusion of the hearing this morning. Everything that I'm allowed to talk to him about. I don't want to hear about anything that you all talk
I was just willing to profit his statement of that fact.
So Melly's saying he don't have enough information.
And we would, of course, ask the court to deny their motion for rehearing and rule consistently with what you ruled yesterday, that they not only have to produce the search warrant, but the affidavit.
Well, do you want to respond to any of the case law they cited about ongoing investigations? That would relate to the affidavit.
Well, it relates, if it's related to his present charges under Rule 3.220, they must turn it over. So let them come in here and make a representation that it is either unrelated, totally different, or if it's in fact related, he has a right to see that information. And 3.220 is clear on that. Anything that could lead to relevant information must be.
Okay, y'all. So all the fuss is about her. This is attorney Ravon Liberty, and she's been working with Melly for a long time. So it's really hard for the judge to tell Melly to let her go. Let her go. I don't think that's fair for him to make that decision in such a short amount of time. I mean, the rest of his life literally depends on yes, let her go, or no, she stays.
Disclose information. And 3.220 is clear on that. Anything that could lead to relevant information must be disclosed. Judge, there is one other matter that we need to go sidebar on.
Okay, well, pause on that till then. State, is there anything else that you want to tell me today? The only thing I'm going to do is talk to Mr. Demons about the front end of this colloquy, if you will, and then give you a future date, which I'm looking at is February 18th. That's the day before my next trial starts, after the trial that's starting tomorrow. And on Tuesday, February the 18th, what I'm also going to ask each side to do is, if there's any motion pending that you think I can hear that is not interfered with by the pending matters that are up on appeal at the 4th DCA, state, if you have anything that you want me to hear on February 18th, just file a notice of hearing and identify the motion you want me to hear. Defense, if there's anything else you want me to hear on February the 18th, just file a notice of hearing and identify what it is you want me to hear. I anticipate the murder trial that I'm commencing tomorrow will be done by then. It may not be, but I'm hoping that it is. And if it is, then I'll give you the whole day on February the 18th to address this issue regarding his representation. And if it turns out we can go forward and hear some of these pending matters, then I'll be happy to do that too.
Judge, I can just ask, I know you said file a notice of hearing, if we could have a deadline like by February 1st, so we don't end up in the same position we did this time where it was filed, maybe business
Well,
before.
Let's see, we're talking about February 18th. So how about the end of business on February the 7th? How about that?
That's fine.
All right, so that goes for both sides. If there's anything you want me to hear on February the 18th, just file a notice of hearing, identify exactly what it is that you want me to hear. And I'm gonna see on February the 18th at 9:30 a.m. Again, we'll call it all pending motions. Maybe we'll be able to work all day and maybe we'll be able to do nothing. I guess that's really gonna be up to you all. State, is there any other requests that you have this morning?
Yes, Judge, as to the search warrant itself that Your Honor is going to compel us to provide, I'd ask that we have until February 1st, just so we have time to pursue the appellate remedies in the meantime, and then I'd also ask that it provide to Your Honor in camera first, because it's the state's position that there are, even in the search warrant itself, certain things that make reference to other targets of the investigation, which are confidential, privileged, and would jeopardize the investigation. So we would ask that Your Honor review that in camera, if any necessary redactions have to be made, and then it can be provided to defense.
We would object to that procedure, and they had a year, over a year, to produce these documents, so it's no surprise. We would ask that to be given to us by the end of tomorrow.
Okay, so listen, over the defense objection, state, this is what I'll do. I'm ordering you to turn over a copy of the search warrant. I need you to get that to me. A week from today, that's January 14th. End of the day, January the 14th, that comes to me,
Yes, Judge.
and then I'll review it, and then I'll distribute it. As I,
Okay, so y'all, that is today, January the 14th. So hopefully the judge has a copy of the search warrant. He's going to review it and then give it over to Melly's team. But that's really not what they want, because the search warrant is just telling Apple your order to turn over her whole phone. I mean, that's we need the affidavit. What were the allegations to make the judge sign this search warrant? That's what we really need.
I see fit. I can't imagine there's anything in there I'm gonna redact. I mean, it doesn't matter, the state's free to investigate whoever they want for anything they want. To do this in the midst of a capital case, state, I realize some things are gonna happen that you might not find ideal, but that is of your doing because you've chosen to do this in the middle of a capital case, so. Mr. Demons' heightened due process rights will take precedent over every other matter in this case, obviously. So that's just the way it's gonna have to be, but I'll grant your request over the defense objection, at least as to that. Ms. Wilcox can give you a blank order, you can fill it out this morning. I know it's over the defendant's objection, but show them the order, and I'll be happy to sign it. The search warrant comes to me within 1 week.
Yes,
And
Judge.
then I will review it in camera, and then I will distribute it accordingly. State, anything else you want me to do this morning?
The judge.
Defense, besides your matter that you want to talk to me about, sidebar, anything
Yes,
else you want
since
me to
you're
do this
going
morning?
to, in camera, review the search warrant, we would ask that the state submit the affidavit.
Well, the case law seems pretty clear that you're not entitled to that, but if you have some competing authority, I'm happy to look at it.
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, on another note, I was a little confused yesterday as to whether or not you have lifted the stay as far as discovery, if we can start discovery again on everything, or are we still under that stay order? Just asking for
I asked both sides if you wanted to do that. I thought you both told me that you did want to do that, that you wanted to do the things that you can do.
I want to do everything,
I agree with you.
but
Time is short, but,
the state is the one that asked for the stay.
well, state, what do you want me to do?
Judge, we need to speak with the Attorney General's office, because we have that stay for a reason with certain things, but we have plenty to do
Outside of that.
outside of that first, so.
Okay,
we have
well,
some-
why don't we do the things that we all agree we can do? So the answer to Mr. Hanson's question is yes. Without objection from either side, the stay is lifted to the extent that we can litigate any matter that's not currently before the
Well,
court.
no, we are objecting to that, Judge.
That was already done by Judge Murphy.
Right, that's already been
Judge
done.
Murphy already lifted the stay.
As to,
Modified it.
right, you
So that we
modified
could
it.
do ongoing discovery
okay.
as to things that were not up on appeal.
Okay. Again, if one side notices something for February 18th and the other side thinks that that is included in the matters that cannot be handled because it's currently at the 4th District Court of Appeals, I'm sure you will file a written response and let me know that. And I guess I'll have to make a decision whether I agree with you or whether I don't.
No order.
Defense, besides the matter that you want to talk to me about, anything else?
Judge, the only thing I would like to have you possibly consider is that you had said you were prepared to ask Mr. Demings some questions right now. I'm a little concerned that with the lack of information that exists in this case, for him to even opine on where to go right now, based on what? The paragraph in their motion that says that he has to make a decision now because you told him there's a conflict.
I'm not going to ask him any questions. I'm just going to explain to him the choices that he's made. No different than a defendant deciding to testify or not testify at a trial. I'm not gonna ask him any questions. I'm telling him what's coming. Because at some point, he is gonna have to tell me what he wants.
And of course, we're gonna object at this point, and until the time that he's fully informed as to what there is that may be a conflict, he is in no position to answer, to make an opinion as to whether.
I'm not asking his opinion. You're objecting to me talking to your client about his rights?
It depends on what you say, Judge, but I am prefacing what your comments are because I was under the impression that you were gonna inquire with him as to whether or not that he finds there's a conflict.
No, I'm not.
Okay, great.
I'm not. Okay, again, so the record is crystal clear on this. I'm following this procedure pursuant to a case called Figueroa, Figueroa hyphen Sanabria, Sanabria versus State. It's Florida Supreme Court case from 2023. It's found at 366 Southern 3rd, 1035. And this was a death penalty case as well. I'll quote what the Florida Supreme Court quotes. In all criminal prosecutions, the accused shall enjoy the right to have the assistance of counsel for his defense. All competent defendants have the right to control their own destinies. He's entitled to his constitutional right of assistance of counsel, and there's nothing that makes him relinquish this right. So all I'm going to do this morning is explain to Mr. Demons that at some point this is going to be his choice. I'm sure his lawyers will give him the best advice, but this is going to be his decision. And he may not agree with your advice at some point, just like a defendant may decide to testify or not testify and not follow a lawyer's advice. But I take this decision to be the same way. It's a fundamental decision. This is a client decision. This isn't a lawyer decision. So, Mr. Demons, raise your right hand for me.
Oh, please, Noble.
You don't have to stand. You're okay. You can sit. You swear to tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can put your hand down. Please state your full name.
Jamell Demons.
How old are you?
I
How far did you go to school?
graduated, but I got my own GED.
Do you read and understand the English language?
Yes.
Are you presently under the influence of any drugs, medication, or alcohol?
No.
Have you ever been treated for a mental illness?
No.
Are they giving you any medication in the jail right now?
No.
How are you feeling this morning?
Confused.
I understand. I'm a little confused.
Wow, y'all heard what Melly said. How you feeling this morning? He said confused. So much for the judge not asking him any questions. He just asked him 10. But yeah, Melly's confused, and I'm sure he's genuinely confused. Even some of the attorneys, the judge seemed confused at times because this case has turned into a clown show, and that's a nice way of saying it.
Are they giving you any medication in the jail right now?
No.
How are you feeling this morning?
Confused.
I understand. I'm a little confused myself. Your head is clear? You're not hearing voices. You
No.
hear your lawyers. You're talking to your lawyers. You understand what's going on this morning?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so Mr. Demons, here's the deal. You're, just like any other defendant, you're entitled to have conflict-free lawyer or lawyers representing you. Okay, a lawyer that has your best interest in mind to the exclusion of anything else. You with me so far?
Yes.
Okay. The state has told you that one of your lawyers is currently under investigation. For what? I have no idea. But there's some ongoing criminal investigation. Okay, you with me so far? Okay. So this, what your lawyers correctly pointed out yesterday, raises immediately what we call a conflict of interest. In other words, maybe at some point during this litigation or some point during the trial, my lawyer's not going to do what's the best thing for me. My lawyer's going to do what's the best thing for my lawyer. And your two interests are separate. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So once your lawyers have had the opportunity to investigate all this, to get you all the information they can possibly get, so they can talk to you about all this, at some point, you're going to have to make a decision about who you want your lawyers to be going forward. You with me on that?
Yes.
Okay. Even if there is a conflict, you can waive the conflict if you want, and say, Judge, I understand there's a conflict, but that's okay. I like these lawyers. They're doing a great job for me. They did a great job for me in the past, and I don't want to change, lawyers this late in the game. You understand that?
Yeah.
Or you could likewise say the opposite, say, Judge, I don't feel comfortable with this. I think there's a conflict. I don't think Miss Liberty should be my lawyer anymore. I don't think any of my lawyers should be my lawyer anymore. And I want to go get some new lawyers. And if you want to hire your own lawyers, you can go out there and hire anyone you want. And if you want me to appoint lawyers to represent you, you would have to file an application with the clerk's office. And if they find that you're financially qualified, I could appoint lawyers to represent you. You understand that?
Yeah.
The whole point I'm trying to make with you today, sir, is that this is going to be your decision. Your decision. Your lawyers will give you their best advice, and you have some excellent lawyers, okay, about what they think you should do. But at the end of the day, you can follow their advice, or you don't have to follow their advice. It's your decision. Do you understand?
Hold on, y'all. So I got a problem with that part because he has to get advice from his lawyers, his current lawyers, whether he should keep those lawyers or fire them. I mean, that's a conflict right there because they have, I'm not saying that they would do this, but they have a financial interest in staying on this case. We've been on this case for 6 years. We make it milk it another year or two, get paid more money. So no, we're going to tell Melly, hey, Melly, don't fire us. Keep us on your case. So I think the judge is making a mistake even by having his lawyers tell him what to do. Melly at this point should likely get outside counsel to explain all of his options. Somebody that doesn't have a bias, they don't have any skin in the game. They don't care if you get new lawyers or you stay with your old lawyers, but at least they can explain to you all of your options in doing so. But having your old lawyers, your current lawyers, say, hey, these are your options, they're conflicted. It should be a whole new team to come in to help him make a decision. And if he decides to stay with his team, that's fine, but at least he should have that option to have lawyers help him make the decision, not the same lawyers who have a financial interest or even an interest of not going to jail, because I'm sure his attorney don't want to go to jail herself, and she's under investigation. So he needs a whole new team to help him make a decision. And he don't even know what's going on. He don't even know what his lawyer's been investigated for. What is she accused of? So I don't think, the judge is handling this the right way. And you had asked about speedy trial issues. It just depends because he did have a trial before, and that trial came to a mistrial. I think it was like 9-3, 9 guilty for manslaughter, 3 not guilty. So yeah, so it's a lot going on. Let's finish this up.
And that, you. But at the end of the day, you can follow their advice or you don't have to follow their advice. It's your decision. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have any questions for me about anything that I've said so far?
We have a moment, Your Honor.
Sure.
They're gonna tell him, don't ask him a question. Yeah.
No questions? All right. So, Mr. Demons, I'm pressing pause on the conversation at this point. We're going to have the second half of this conversation at some point in the future. I hope it's sooner in the future rather than later, because the last point I want to make sure, and I'm giving you and your family and your lawyers as much notice of this as I can, your case is set for trial September the 10th, and that's not that far away. Do you understand that? Okay. Your case is going to go to trial on September the 10th. So if you change lawyers, you're going to get a group of lawyers in place that are going to have like 7 months to prepare a capital case.
Okay. See, the judge is literally trying to get him not to change lawyers, because if he changes lawyers and his lawyers they don't have enough time, then that's an issue for appeal. How can I prepare a capital case in a short amount of time? In this case, it's been going on for years. I need more time. And now the judge is basically forcing his hand. The judge is saying, hey, you can get new lawyers if you want to, but just know they're not going to have enough time. So I wouldn't do that if I was you. Suggesting an answer to Melly without actually saying it. and I don't think that's appropriate. Let's go back a few seconds.
That far away, do you understand that? Okay, your case is going to go to trial on September the 10th. So if you change lawyers, you're gonna get a group of lawyers in place that are gonna have like 7 months to prepare a capital case, okay? So the longer it takes to make this
I'm gonna
decision.
object to what the court has just said. What you're telling him is right now that he is basically having to stay with us as his attorney, because if not, then he'll get another set of lawyers that will not be prepared, and they will only have 8 months to do what has taken years to do, and therefore you're pushing him into the corner that he has to stay with us. I don't think that's fair what the court has said.
Over your
Okay, so yeah, and that lawyer made a good point, and I think this lawyer is making a fair point. He's actually being fair. He's saying you're telling Melly he has to stay with us. So this lawyer is fine with getting off the case. He just wants Melly to do what's best for Melly. Hey, if you let me go, that's fine. If you keep me, that's fine. I don't even know if Melly has any more, money. He hasn't been working and doing music like that. He may still get royalties. So, but why should he have to pay for 5, 6 new attorneys because the state wanted to play games in the middle of his trial? Let's go back.
Prepared, and they will only have 8 months to do what has taken years to do, and therefore you're pushing him into the corner that he has to stay with us. I don't think that's fair what the court has said.
Over your objection, sir. That's not what I'm saying at all. I want to make sure that you understand that time is of the essence. Do you understand that?
You should have said that.
Okay. So I'm gonna put him back on the docket, February the 18th at 9:30 a.m. This issue with the warrant will be resolved at this point, and whatever's going to be distributed to the parties will have long since been distributed to the parties. You all can file whatever additional motions you think are appropriate. If there's any motion the state wants me to hear, you're going to do that in a.
All right, y'all. Hey, what day did he say? Did he say the 18th is when we coming back? I didn't hear what he said.
February the 18th.
Oh, February. Okay, so Melly has until February to make a decision. February 18th.
9:30 a.m. This issue with the warrant will be resolved at this point, and whatever's going to be distributed to the parties will have long since been distributed to the parties. You all can file whatever additional motions you think are appropriate. If there's any motion the state wants me to hear, you're going to do that in a notice of hearing. That's by the close of business on Friday, February the 7th. Defense, if there's any motion that you want me to hear, you're going to do that in a written notice of hearing by Friday, February the 7th. If I don't have something noticed in writing by Friday, February the 7th, at the close of business, I will not be hearing it. On Tuesday, February the 18th, Mr. Demons' case remains set for trial September the 10th at 9 o'clock. State, anything else that I can do for you this morning?
No, Judge.
Defense, with the exception of your, all right, is the state coming up here too?
Yes.
Okay. Mike, this is not on the record. Dan, I think there's a microphone here that needs to go.
All right, y'all. So I think that's. I don't think I'll say anything else after that.
FT, that concludes FT. February the 18th. If you need to get in front of me sooner, just contact my office. Although I am starting another first-degree murder trial tomorrow, but that trial may end earlier than I suspect. I'll just play that one by ear. Ms. Wilcox, FT, that concludes FTs for today. That concludes FX until 3:30?
Yeah.
Okay. So then the division FX, I would like to be in recess until 3:30 this afternoon. Hope y'all have a nice one. All right, Mr. Court Reporter.
3:30 is the hearing? Yeah.
All right. So y'all see where we're at. This is insanity. This is insanity. Like what? What is the reason y'all playing these games? Like what? This is crazy. Oh man. Okay, yeah, that's her, Ravon Liberty. That's her. And thank you again to her office for reaching back out. But I mean, it's crazy. I mean, I don't know what Melly can possibly do right now in this situation. He can either, I don't know, who is this? Is that his mom? Because the judge set a hard deadline. He said, September, we're going to trial no matter what. hell, a hurricane and it came through there, and nobody going to trial. But the judge, in his mind, we're going to trial in September. The issue is, can he legally do that without violating Melly's rights? My answer is no, not a chance. Not a chance. That's not gonna work. Oh, y'all. So I wanted to cover that. And as far as the speedy trial, he did have a trial. I'm not sure why the delays happened initially. It could have been his team asking for more time. It could have been a prosecutor asking for more time. As long as it's not unreasonable. But they did have a trial, so I guess they at least tried to get him out the way. It was a 9-3 for not even first-degree murder, for manslaughter. So that shows you right there that at least 3 people think he's not guilty, and out of those 12, 9 of them thinks he's guilty of manslaughter only, not even of actual first-degree murder. So that's going to be interesting. I know Law Malcolm said they all guilty. He said, why he make a song called Murder on My Mind? But, you know, that's entertainment. And we had the same issue with YSL. YSL came out with songs. Next thing you know, you got DA Love saying that, you know, he's going to take it to trial. And that ain't what he meant when he made that song. At least they couldn't prove that's what he meant. And the same thing with Melly, Murder on My Mind. They said it came out way before his 2 friends were found in the backseat. Yeah, so it's crazy. Let me see. Yeah. And you did ask, his lawyer couldn't tell him what he's been investigated for. My thing is, if they searched your phone, if Apple told you that they gave them everything, or, you know, they had a search warrant, you can pretty much assume they have everything that's on your phone. Anything that's backdated or uploaded, however it saved into the cloud, then they have access to that cloud. So you have to assume that they have access to any emails, any photographs, text messages, anything that's in your phone, they have it. Just assume that they have it. And based on that, now you can pretty much figure out what they are trying to do. And apparently it's a tampering. They're saying it's witness tampering. Maybe she spoke with a witness, and that's not illegal. Lawyers can't speak with witnesses. Either side, prosecutors, defense attorneys can speak to witnesses. Now, if the witness said you said something you didn't say, I'm just gonna let that play. If the witness says something that, hey, I'll talk to the lawyer said I didn't have to show up. And the next thing you know, the prosecutors go to the judge for a search warrant to see if they can find some proof of that. That might not even be in what the lawyer said. How often are attorneys investigated? I've never seen it to this extent, but you really don't know, because they only have to turn over discovery once you are charged with a crime. So if you're not charged with a crime, they don't have to tell you. So had Apple not told her, we would never know. We would never know right now. So let's say they investigated her, Apple never told her, Melly goes to trial, and we never find out. If they don't bring any charges against her, all they did was get away with a free one behind the scenes. We don't know that Apple is turning over our personal information behind our backs. Now, this is a good lesson, I guess, for attorneys out there. Be careful, because if you're emailing back with co-counsel, you got to assume that either you're being hacked or Apple just turned it over. So how would they know she will have a conflict of interest? What they are saying is she's accused of tampering with the witness, and Melly is accused of tampering with the witness. So they could be co-defendants. Maybe Melly had her on three-way, through a jail call. Hey, call this person. And then Melly could have told that person on the phone, hey, don't show up to court. Don't come testify against me. You never know. I don't know what they're alleging. And Melly don't know. That's why Melly wants the search warrant. He wants the affidavit. He wants to see what are y'all investigating my lawyer for? That's sneaky. So I guess now lawyers have to move different. If you're going to have a exchange with co-counsel, I guess you got to do it in person now. You can't put, serious stuff, your game plan for your client on emails now, which I don't know if people were doing that anyway, because, emails could be compromised even if they don't have a search warrant. So that's where we're at. And Melly is between a rock and a hard place. It's almost like the Matrix movie. Pick the red pill or the blue pill. You pick one pill, you might live. You pick the other pill, you might die. Stay with your lawyers. You might go home. You get a new team of lawyers, you might get the death penalty. So this is insanity. You cannot get more serious when it comes to your rights as a defendant when the state is seeking to take your life. Now, the tactics from the prosecutors don't shock me. We've seen it all in YSL. I'm telling y'all what they did. They didn't have DA Love allegedly go down there and give them some tips. Y'all seen that movie 101 Dalmatians? It's an older movie. She reminds me of that woman, Corella, that drove that car down there. She drove that car from Georgia to Florida to go help them people. Be underhanded. Let me see if I can find that. Hold on. His car chase. Let me see. Hey, I need to quit. Y'all remember this? Hold on. Let me get out the way. Oh man, this is funny. Look, y'all. This. Oh. It's too loud. They didn't got her to zoom over there from Georgia to Florida. Oh my God. She didn't zoom way over there, y'all. To help them people cheat this boy out of a fair trial. I'm done. Oh man, I do thank y'all for popping in. The next time I come live, I want to go over the lawsuit because I know Melly filed a lawsuit. He's saying there's some crazy stuff happening in that jail, but he didn't file it in state court. He filed it in federal court. And the federal court judge was like, hey, this is some crazy stuff. He's been in jail 6 years. Tell me why I should let him out. So then the jail responded with their own answer to the lawsuit. And it's some crazy stuff in that response. We got to go through all of that, y'all. The response was crazy. He said it's a setup. It's a setup, all right. It is a set up all the way. Let's do this. But look, I mean, yeah, the lawyers are huddling up, and what they're saying is she hasn't been able to see him in person. She's only been able to talk to him through the jail phone. And now the lawyers are saying, what if that's hacked? What if they are listening through that? They're keeping her away from her client in person. They only letting them talk to a phone that's sometimes monitored for the general public. Yeah, solitary confinement. Yeah. And the jail, they responded, no, it's him. He's doing all these things. When he see a woman walk by, They are alleging that he was entertaining himself, and that's putting it nice. In the jail, that's what they responded to in the lawsuit. So they said we had to keep him separated. What's going on, Miss Brooklyn, NYC? All right, she said Miss D said, "Oh my." That's what I said. I said, tell me y'all lying. I said, man, we had to tell him you can't do that. Man, yeah, we gotta go through those lawsuits. It's wild. So the allegation they are alleging against each other, because Melly, he said some stuff that they did, and then they fired back and said some stuff. They said, "No, Melly, you was doing all of this while you was in there." I was like, "Say what now?" And I think they even had some exhibits. So I don't know if those exhibits are pictures or what. I haven't had a chance to go through none of that, but that's some crazy work. I'm like, Miss D, oh my. Say what now? What you talking about? Wait, say he was. What? Get him, Joe. I don't even want to pin there. What did you say? So he was tying a string from his toe and tapping his foot. Oh my. Lord have mercy. My God. This is the crazy stuff. Some crazy stuff. Simply Todd, what's going on? What's going on? I think we're gonna have to do a wellness check on you. No, I've been working. What's going on, D? Simply, when the last time you went live? I ain't seen D in a long time. I had to pop in. I haven't talked to y'all all year. So I said, I'm gonna get on here. I'm surprised YouTube let y'all know I was live. Y'all know how they do. You take too long of a break. They say, you want a break? We're gonna give you a break, all right. We're gonna give you a break, all right. So no. I've been out and about working. Somebody said they seen me on somebody's YouTube stream in court. Sometimes judges, when we go to courtroom, they be having cameras and stuff like that. And so I'm actually working. I'm glad, somebody said, I'm not sitting at home. And my clients come from all walks of life, and they get charged with some of the craziest things, things that you wouldn't even think they'd be charged for. So a lot of times we'll go to court and have what's called a probable cause hearing to see if there was enough probable cause to arrest the person. But probable cause is such a low threshold. If you have a witness that said you did something and you said you didn't, that's probable cause. That's enough to take before a jury, and the jury can decide whether you're guilty or not. So probable cause is so low that most of the time judges go along with, if you get a witness or you have it on video, you have some other type of evidence to show that this person is at least some type of way connected to that situation, then the judge will find probable cause. So I've been having a lot of those just going, but I always tell my clients, just because the judge says probable cause, that don't mean that you're guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. That's a whole different standard for a whole different day. The only thing we're trying to do right now is see if we can get the judge to throw something out early. And one of the judges I appeared before, I really liked him. I always be seeing different judges on YouTube, and some of them are really fair, and I think he's one of the fair ones. Let me see. He should call Thug for help. Hey, Thug at home, Law Malcolm. Yeah, hey, I thought y'all was gonna give him life without parole. A lot of y'all are saying he guilty, but he at home. Hey, what's going on with Bernadette? He said, I sent my folks the bat signal. We ain't seen you, my boy. Brooklyn NYC said, are you following the Detroit trial about step uncle who essayed an unalive 12-year-old? I think her name is out. Yes, I did see that. I don't even know what was that. Maybe they were trying to determine if there was enough evidence for him to go to trial, because I don't think that was the actual trial. It was just a situation where she's presumed to not be alive, but they never found her body. But I did like the judge at the end. You know, the judge, she read the whole family, because first of all, what type of 11-year-old, 12-year-old don't come home or not at school when you go pick them up and you don't call the police? I'm talking about the family members. You start with them first. Who don't call the police when your child is not where they're supposed to be? You mean to tell me your child never came home and you slept the whole night, just slept like a baby without your child being in their bed where they're supposed to be at? And then the next day, you go to the school and tell the school, and then the school calls the police. Yeah, she told him about I wasn't feeling that. I think the family could have did more, and I think the family know more. You know, the family probably thought the family be acting like they don't be knowing what's going on, but I think they know. And then she was saying that he never come in the house. How he never come in the house, and he got 5, 6 kids in there by another woman. So he always, over there. She said, the grandma said, no, he just sit outside in the truck. He don't be coming in. No, something ain't right. Oh, the cousin on Facebook telling it all. You just never know. Somebody that's sick like that might be going with the whole family. You don't know. They said, is he in the courtroom? She said, I need my glasses. Where do the defendants always sit? You know where they see where he's sitting at next to his lawyer. She was looking around. Do you see him in the courtroom? The grandma of the little girl. She's looking. Well, I don't know. I need my glasses. She said, yeah, I think that's him over there. That's him. Come on. Stop it. I need to go, hey, you know the name of the cousin? I need to, you get the real scoop from the family. The auntie still putting money on his books. She better be careful before they charge her. Yeah, everybody took a break. All right. Turns out he did 9 years for a different girl. See what I mean? He did 9 years already for a different child. Yeah, that was sick. And I mean, she probably had no idea what he was planning on doing to her, the young girl. And he did that to her and hid her body, whatever he did, because he got her pregnant, a child. Hey, no, Law Malcolm, that's what y'all love. I do my regular cases in real life. He said he loves following rapper cases. That's his thing. And actually, it just depends on YouTube, because a lot of times most people don't like listening to like stuff with children. So those are not trials that they really, want to watch, things of that nature. But I wouldn't have a problem doing, he said rappers cases. Even before Young Thug, I was talking about Melly case on TikTok before I even came over. Wait, what happened? Y'all see Kayla and Shannon, man, I'm still shocked. She would have been better off with Jiggy. Where is Jiggy? Wait, where is he? He been doing all right? I haven't seen him in a while. Oh, Law Malcolm said the grandma had a baby at 11 and the aunt had hers at 12 running the fence. Oh, see, man, listen. And you know, sometimes in older generations, you just never know their mindset. They probably like, you know, she out there being fast. She knew she had no business talking to that man. She know that was her aunt's, you know, boyfriend. But at the same time, that's a child. You can't put them in the same category as a grown person. If anybody knew better, it was him. And I've been seeing the debates. She a child, but she know right from wrong. She's still a child. That's why it's called statutory. By law, you cannot. And he knew that because this is one of his first rodeos. That's what he's been messing with. Wow. Did you ever see sentencing where the mother accused her son in open court? No, I haven't seen that one. Now that one. Did we talk about this before? Though it sounds familiar, but I haven't seen anything about it. Grunt. But yeah, we gotta check on y'all. Talking about y'all gotta check on me. Somebody go find Jiggy. Where is Jiggy at? Or is he taking a break like we took one? Yeah. So when that trial happens, if y'all want to cover that, we can cover that. Law Malcolm, if you got a trial you want me to cover, let me know. I only talking about rappers. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. No, Jiggy running his cigarette shop or smoke shop. I don't know if that's real or what. I don't know. And Tasha never answered my question when she went live. But yeah, I'm glad I'm glad that, you know, he's at home. I did see some of the clips from the Yak Gotti. So apparently Kayla was representing Yak Gotti. That's the guy that was found not guilty on all charges, yet he's still in jail in the YSL case. And I remember his family was protesting. They had a handful of people out there. I don't know why nobody showed up in Atlanta, but they were protesting. And I remember they were raising money for a lawyer. And I'm thinking, okay, that's good. They're raising money. They're going to pay Kayla, at least for her time, you know, for something, trying to give her something. Come to find out, they used that money not to pay Kayla, but apparently to replace her. They didn't want Kayla anymore, so they went and hired attorney Bruce Harvey and attorney Nicole Westmoreland. Y'all remember them because we did an interview with them over here. So they went and hired them lawyers and not Kayla. And I'm not sure why. I'm not sure it's because he didn't get out or he didn't get a bond. I don't know. Or maybe they may feel some type of way. She at home with her man, her husband, and their son is still locked up. She can't control that, obviously. She can't control that he had a probation hold or the state's playing dirty. But I just found it crazy how, you know, once money get involved, people start donating money. Now, instead of giving that money to the person that was representing you for free, you took that money and hired somebody else. And I'm not saying, you know, I like the other two lawyers that were hired. They're really good people that came over here and talked to us. And he's in good hands, but it's just crazy how they just turned on her for whatever reason, you know, and it didn't look right to the public. She said about 5 people showed up to their protest. A good 5, soaking wet. It was a good 5. I was like looking, I said, where everybody at? Yes, I'm glad Mooktoon, y'all know Mooktoon came here and spoke with us. I'm glad he has 2 new attorneys that's representing him. So hopefully he can get out and be home soon. So yes, shout out to them for sure. Okay, yeah, okay, let me pin that. Melanie Ferris. All right, let's say that right there. Okay. I don't think so, from my understanding, because I caught a little bit of her live. From my understanding, she didn't get paid. She was working pro bono to try to get him a bond. But the next thing she knows, she was getting replaced. And not only was she replaced, I think she did a courtesy call. She reached out to the lawyers who replaced her. And from her account, she wasn't treated in a good way. I don't know what that conversation was about. I mean, Kayla probably was doing the right thing, reaching out to them. I mean, if somebody replaced me, I don't want to say it like this, but I don't feel obligated to reach out to the new lawyers. I mean, sometimes the lawyers will reach out to the person who they replaced. Now, let's say Attorney Bruce Harvey and Attorney Nicole Westmoreland reached out to Kayla and said, "Hey, Kayla, we're taking over the case. The family asked us to do this. Can you send us what you have? The discovery, the state going to take a long time, but if you already got the body cam and the 911 and the probation violation report, whatever it is, send it to us if you don't mind doing that." That's how it normally works. But normally the person that's being replaced doesn't reach out on their own. But sometimes, she was just trying to do the right thing, trying to help out, because at the end of the day, even though the family replaced her and Gotti is still on good terms, brother and sister terms, so she still wanted to help out. So she reached out to them. And, I guess, I don't know what the conversation about. I don't know if she reached out to them to tell them what to do. And they're probably like, "Hey, we got this," or, "We don't need your help. We good." I don't know. But I don't see that it should have been any reason for everybody not to get along. I mean, because at the end of the day, people want Yak Gotti at home. So whether it's Kayla, whether it's the other attorneys, somebody get him home, because he was found not guilty of all charges by the jury, and he's still in jail. So hopefully they get that resolved. And you can't control what families do. I get that. His family and his mom seemed like, Yak Gotti's mom seemed like she's really outspoken. And she one of them mamas, she loud and proud. Y'all, if y'all seen the protest, y'all know what I'm talking about. And she hyped up, she pumped up about her son. So if she say, "Hey, we gonna get that man Bruce, and Bruce gonna be your lawyer. He got Nichols home, he gonna get you home. We ain't gonna go with no Kelly, we gonna go with that boy Bruce." You know how they be talking. And which is crazy, because you're paying someone to do something that somebody else was doing for free. So, that's neither here nor there, but that was crazy. What went on behind the scenes that we don't know about. I still don't know how Shannon Free and Yak still in jail. From my understanding, Yak was on probation already. And when you pick up a new charge, you violate your probation. So even if you beat your new charges, they're still saying he violated probation. Not only did he violate probation, he picked up new charges while being in the jail. And obviously, I don't really count those because, I mean, you got to fight for your life in that jail. So of course you're gonna pick up some new charges. Either that, or you're gonna be dead somewhere. So I agree that both should be free. Law Malcolm gone now. We do not know that. We do not know that. Right. He even got hit across the head. I think he was stabbed in the head with a knife. Free yak, one with 0 bodies, and he's still in. Yeah, I don't think he was ever accused of any of the murder, the homicide. So, which is ironic, and he's still in. And matter of fact, it was a plea deal. I think yesterday was another plea deal. Somebody just got out. Yeah. So he said, ask him about Diddy. Well, federal courts don't have cameras, so it's really hard to cover, Diddy stuff. And Diddy stuff might not happen for a while. Brooklyn, NYC, dude that shot the cop just might get off on self-defense. Body cam shows state and cop lied. Cop never identified himself. What you think his chances are? I mean, from my understanding, he did not follow protocol. They were supposed to take him down as a team. It was never in the plan for him to do it himself. He did not identify himself as an officer. So the question is going to come down, did he know he was a cop before he shot him? So, I mean, that's going to come up to a jury because I doubt they would give him a plea deal on that. Boy, the police union would be so mad if they give him a plea deal. So, yeah, that's going to be an interesting one right there. Because we kind of analyzed it a little bit, but I don't know because he didn't identify himself. So I believe he was in uniform, but he walked up, he pulled up a car real fast, zoomed up on him and started grabbing him. And that's when we heard the shots. What's in New York about this New York situation? What's New York? I don't know. I don't know what's in New York right now. I know we had. I don't even know where Lil Durk's case at, and we know he's still in custody. Hopefully, his don't take this long. That boy, Law Malcolm, you funny. You funny. Chicago, right? I think he was in the head. Y'all remember the cop that came to court and his head was messed up? I don't know if his head was messed up. I think you could kind of tell he had a head injury. I'll put it like that. It was one guy that had a like half of a head or something like that. But that wasn't the cop. But the cop, you could still tell that he had sustained some serious injuries. Hey, y'all seen that video with the cop? He was in a parking lot and he was arresting this one girl here in Texas, and another girl walked off. And for whatever reason, he followed the other girl and tried to jump in top of her convertible car, and he fell off the car and it fell backwards. Y'all seen that? And then the state obviously was going to charge them for aggravated assault. of a, law enforcement officer. But I'm like, man, the cop jumped on top of that girl's car. I don't know why he thought he was gonna be able to clear that car. But the car said, no, sir. No, ma'am, no, sir. And blue. The car said, oh no. Man, y'all seen that? Hold on, y'all. Let me pull it. I don't even know what it's called. Let me just search cop jumps on car. Let me see if this will work. I mean, yeah. Let me go back. Oh, look, you are a monster. I think that's a coincidence. Pull right on up. Let's see if we can go back. How do I go back? Hold on. Somebody said the car said yeet. Hold on, y'all. Let me go back to it. And it hold on. I mean, I don't know what was the reason. And I think the officer, he's okay. But I'm just saying, why would you do that? Put yourself in a situation like that to where let me see. It was another, I'm gonna try to find it. It was another angle somewhere. I'm gonna try to find it real quick. Let's see. Let me see if I can find it right now. He might be on the run and do about. Wait, who? Wait, who y'all talking about? I'm trying to find that other. It was another angle that showed. I'll find it right quick. Wait, who is Brooklyn Corey? Who is Brooklyn Corey? Hold on, let me see. Y'all funny. No, I don't know who that is. But I'm gonna Google it though. What they say he did? I'm trying to find a. Because the way it looked kind of dramatic on that angle, but the angle I saw. Y'all funny. Man, let's see if it's gonna play. It might play for us. It might not. It might not. Oh, said Corey SSG. Okay, let's see. Corey SSG. And y'all said he in Dubai? Let's see.
What you trying to run?
Oh, did it go? Oh, it did go. Hold on, hold on. Yeah, that was wild. That was wild. I ain't never seen nothing quite like it to where, where the attorney, the cop jumps on the car, and now the attorneys have to defend the aggravated assault on the law enforcement because I guess they said she was reckless. She should have known that the cop could have got hurt. Now that angle looks kind of bad, but I saw another angle where he really didn't hit his head full on. He kind of hit his shoulder first, and then once he hit his shoulder, then he kind of rolled and then laid out. So I was like, man, I don't know if his pride, but he would not get up off that ground. I wish I could find the one where y'all could see that he really didn't. Yeah, I don't understand it. Oh man! All right, let me look up this before I let y'all go. He said Brooklyn Corey. Brooklyn. I'm not seeing nothing pop up. Is that a case or something? Oh, okay, hold on. Somebody said he is a YouTuber. They claiming he kidnapped some girl, but I don't believe it. He lived in Texas. What? Wait, what? Hold on. Yeah, I don't see it. Or is it Corey SSG? Since we went down a rabbit hole, we might as well see what they're talking about. What in the world? All right, Corey SSG, charged with aggravated kidnapping charge against 2 women. He's reported to have fled. What? YouTuber and rapper. He has been residing in Cali, allegedly threatened 2 women at gunpoint, held them against their will, and abandoned them in the middle of the night on a Texas highway. Oh man, that's wild. Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, who were the 2 girls? I mean, were they not? Hey, tell them, come on. I represent YouTubers. Actually, one of my clients that I just got is a social media person, and he has a whole lot of subscribers on YouTube and social media, as well as I don't know, YouTube, TikTok, all of that. And this was in Dallas, a case in Dallas. But I ain't gonna disclose who the person is because the case happened in Dallas. I'm not sure if he resides in Dallas or what, because sometimes you be passing through or you in certain cities and you may get charged with a crime, that don't mean you're from that area. What they say, you go on vacation and you leave on probation. So I got to go to Dallas soon to represent that person. So we might have to do a YouTube video about it. Somebody said, who was it? Can you check to see if he retained counsel? She said, I'm nosy. Can you check to see if he retained counsel? Well, normally the proceedings won't start until that person is in custody. So if he's gone, there's no reason for, at this point for lawyers to even be hired unless he plan on coming back. Now, if he wants to come back and turn himself in, he wants to get his lawyers and team in place, then he can do that. But it just doesn't look good when you flee, because then prosecutors can sometimes bring that in as consciousness of guilt. You knew you did wrong. You knew you did what they said you did. That's why you left the country. So, or he can say, I already had that trip planned. That trip was already pre-planned. And these girls mad because they wanted $2,000, but the price we agreed on was $1,000. I'm just alleging. I don't know what the case is. But it just seems crazy though. But yeah, hey, I don't mind. I don't mind doing it if I have to. She said, I heard Dubai. Oh, that's what he said? Look at here. We already on the same page. Come on. we already on the same page. I'm trying to find that. Oh, he made a video about it now. I wouldn't have recommended that. Because what you don't want to do is lock yourself into a story and then, you change it later, it can be an issue. Yeah, but feds messed up Dirk case saying he was trying to flee, but all he was doing was not trying to fly coach. Yeah, that's true. The thing with Lil Durk, I believe they said he booked 3 flights at the same time. He booked 3 at the same time. And what they are saying is he tried to mislead the airline, not the airline people, the feds from believing he was on a certain airline or a certain private jet. So you book 3, they go looking for you over there, and you can get away on 1, maybe. Or maybe that's protocol for his security apparatus. He don't want people following him, tracking him. So he always booked 3. I don't know. All right, he couldn't make up his mind. He couldn't make up his mind. Is it illegal to book 3 flights? No. Y'all funny. She said, who was your YouTube client? That's funny. I'm not finna disclose. Because I forgot some of y'all be on YouTube like that. So y'all be in these YouTube streets. Y'all know some of these people. I don't. When my office first told me about the case, Like, yeah, they do social media. I'm like, okay, you know, I do a little social media myself. And they're like, no, no, like for a living. I'm like, what you mean? And then you see the subscriber count, you're like, oh, okay, so they really do this. Let's see. But yeah, we got some cases that we can talk about that's coming up. I mean, it's a lot. That was a theory, but the defense did a whole motion explaining if the feds had just checked, they would see the two other flights were connecting. Oh wow. So what you're saying that it was never three separate flights. It was always connecting flights. So he was going to get on one plane and fly to one airport, and then from that plane go to a different airport where the big plane would take him to another country. Well, I guess in theory that can happen. YouTube is making that kind of money. I'm thinking so like the big ones, the ones that have a whole lot of subscribers and things of that nature. When all they do is content, then yeah. Somebody said the scamming YouTubers make buku bread. Not scamming, they out here scamming. No, say it ain't so. Let's see if this is it. Oh man, golly, I thought that was it. Yeah, see, I heard he was scamming. I heard he was scamming. He was having like a fake drawing, and the winner was already predetermined because they had it set up to where the winner was already picked. The winner was his friend or something like that. This is all alleged. This is what the streets was talking. You know, streets be talking. So I don't know the extent of that. Using apps to get to fake giving cash up prizes. And they say, didn't a girl tell on him? Or his girlfriend, they broke up or something. She told like the whole thing. Yeah, but I did hear about that, especially amongst the city of Houston. You know, people weren't too happy about the stuff that was going on behind the scenes. But yeah, I do remember that. He might have. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I got to be conflicted out. I don't want to talk about it too much, so I won't be. I won't have a conflict. 'Cause you never know. You never know when the phone might ring. Okay, here we go. Here we go. I think I found it, y'all. I think I found it, but I don't know how I'm gonna be able to play it. Okay, maybe if I share it to. I finally found it. Golly. Okay, maybe if I share it here, is that gonna be able to work? Oh, yeah. All right, copy. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna show y'all the video I was talking about. If I can paste it. But I don't want to put like this. They gonna let me. Golly. At least tell us if your client on. Oh yeah, yes, yeah. They're not in jail. Nah. Mm-mm. Most of my clients, if not all, are out on bail. Yeah. Yeah, we ain't gonna have you sitting in there if we can help it. I want to show y'all this video before we go. I don't know why it won't let me. Let me see something. No, come on. What about rappers? Why are they so dumb? I don't know if they dumb. It just seems like they are at least targeted. Some of them. Some of the rappers, I believe, are. I mean, we got to remember, prosecutors, they want to build their careers too. And what's the fast way to do it? A high-profile case. All right, y'all. Okay, yeah, let me Google this one right here. Okay, somebody else has it, a public account. Let's see. All right, let's see. Somebody has a. Y'all might not even be able to see. Oh, what you say? Real quick. State said that Lady Lori has to recuse herself due to conflict by law, even if Melly want to keep her. That's true. Sometimes we have conflicts that are what is considered non-waivable. That even if your client agrees to keep you, something you just can't waive. And the state is saying that even if Melly say I want to keep attorney Ravon Liberty, I cannot keep her by the ethical rules. It'd be against ethics to try to have your client waive something that he cannot legally waive. So what they're saying is she needs to go. But, you know, how can y'all make that argument saying she needs to go without telling us why she needs to go? Give me what y'all got. And if I'm the judge, that's what I'm saying. Give me everything y'all have. And I need to be able to discuss this or appoint lawyers to discuss it with Melly. and he can make a determination decision if he wants to fire her, keep her. But right now it's so early, I don't know. Y'all got her phone, okay. What y'all get her phone for? I mean, but is he gonna fire her? I don't think so. Why would he? They had a trial before. They spared him. He wasn't found guilty. So why would you switch lawyers now? I don't think he would do that. And him and that lady, they always seem buddy. I said that lady, attorney Liberty. They always seem buddy, cool in court. Maybe she's relatable, she's personable. They always have conversations, even about maybe life outside of the legal stuff. She's the counselor at law, so she's probably advising. So I don't see him just telling her she gotta go. But yeah, y'all, I'm not gonna be able to get that video up. I wanted to show that other angle, but the video too small. It's not letting me make it bigger like I thought it was gonna do. All right. Seemed like the state hate to see Liberty come in. They know he's going to go with her. Yeah. They know. And that's why they want her gone. Yeah. Well, I definitely appreciate y'all stopping in. We talked about everything. I might have to go back in and I asked the editor if we can keep that, because I don't want YouTube to say, oh, him falling off the car, that's a little too graphic, and then they restrict it or do something crazy. What criminal powers do people have if they are sued by someone lying on them? I.e. Jay-Z can. The person be charged with anything, he can't sue because she's broke. I mean, they can ask the judge for what's called a summary judgment to throw out the case, but it's really hard because if someone's saying that something happens, he did this to me, then that seems like an issue for the jury. The jury can determine whether she's lying or not, like the Amber Heard situation. Let her make a fool of herself, and then the jury can determine if it's true or not. Now, in this case, from my understanding, Jay-Z was in a whole nother state when that happened. And but now she's saying she had her dates mixed up. So, you know, that's that. Yeah, so maybe he can countersue, go after her, but like you said, she really don't have any money, so he'll have a piece of paper saying he won, but what are you going to get for it? Oh, and I'm just alleging she don't have any money. I don't know what she got. She might have some put up in a safe somewhere. Yeah. But all right, y'all. Thank y'all for popping in. I'm going to come back so we can go over the lawsuit that Melly filed, I believe in November, December, against the sheriff's department, the jail, and then we can go over the response that the jail filed against Melly. And that's stuff that I, think some of the sentences, some of the bullet points, it was crazy. I said, no, he didn't do all that, did he? He said, what if proven before trial? Like she 100% lied. What could she? It's kind of hard to prove anything before trial if she's saying she had her dates mixed up. So that could be any day of her life, for all we know. So it'd be hard to really get to the bottom of that without trial. But nah, they're not gonna, I don't see a prosecutor charging her, because then you'll have people saying that they re-victimizing the victim. She made a claim, and because he's rich and famous and powerful, y'all file charges against her and lock her up. Yeah, that wouldn't be a good headline for sure. That wouldn't be good. See, I just say, let it play out in court, just like the Amber Heard. We knew Amber Heard was lying, but I don't think nobody was saying she needs to go to jail. Some people saying Megan Thee Stallion was lying, but I haven't heard nobody call for her to go to jail. That's if we didn't cover that case, so I don't know if she was lying or what he said. They said Tory told her to dance, or something like that before he shot her feet. I don't know. It's been so long, so many cases. I might be mixing real life with my YouTube cases. All right, yeah, good to see y'all again. When you return, how often y'all? Let me see. When y'all want to cover that? That's what he allegedly said. Dance. Maybe Thursday or Friday. How they sound, Mr. Bruce? Thursday or Friday? Y'all gonna be here? Y'all gonna be here? Damn. Oh my God. And I'm not, because some of y'all may not know me. Y'all may say, oh man, he laughing at that girl getting shot in her feet. That ain't funny. I'm just laughing at what was allegedly said. Why would he tell her that? He said, oh, you got some good knees, good knees. You want to see if you got some good feet, good feet. Huh. Oh my God. Mother may Oh my God. All right. Harlem night. Did he shoot up that woman pinky toe? Okay, I'll do that the next video. Put a poll up on the next trials and we can just kind of choose from there. Yeah, I'll do that. And I want to come on a little bit more often, little by little, and hopefully YouTube will, take me off probation and open up the door. See, around they got it cracked open. I don't hate to open up that door, let some people in here, and then we can go. She said he kissed his lawyer. Hold on, no, they did not know. Hold on, let me go back. He said, "No, they whispering, they ain't kissing. Don't get that going, Law Malcolm." Boy, they say a lying what? For somebody to tell. All right. We almost at, I'm gonna stay till 2:30. We got 2 minutes. YouTube, I put in 2.5 hours. You know what? I wonder if I can do this. Hold on. Since it's the beginning of the year, they normally let us do it randomly for about 10 people. Let me see if it lets me. It may do 5. Hold on. Oh, they didn't let me do it today. Okay, I'll do it next time. Maybe let me do 5 today. Let's see if it's gonna work. Heat. All right. Yeah, that was random. That was YouTube. All right. So I'll say maybe it'll let me do another one the next time I come on. What did she say? If they ended up married, like I'm a father. Wait, who? Who got married? Oh, that's that. She stayed in his face. We gonna find. Oh, y'all know what? Y'all trying to say? Y'all trying to say these two right here? They said if y'all find out they didn't got married, y'all gonna know some. Yeah. You see, and they be saying it be me. That be y'all. That be y'all. If they get married, you're not gonna be the only one that fall out. Y'all gonna see me fall clean about this chair right here on live. Oh my God. They better not. But yeah, y'all all right. They do stay talking, kind of close, but you know. Yeah, if y'all don't mind, liking the video, yeah. Y'all gonna have me laughing the rest of the day. The rest of the day, y'all gonna have me laughing because y'all done sat there and did that. Y'all done put that in my head now. And not only that, her office was really nice to us today. They reached back out and they said that they're not going to be speaking to me right now because of the ongoing case. But for y'all to say this, y'all listening. Come on now. We trying to get them at least when the trial happened or after it happens. But it's just a joke. It's just a joke. Matter of fact, I think it was some issues going on. I think she was married and her husband called the police and filed charges on her, so she went into custody. But I think that case was dismissed. I don't know if they're still married. I don't know. It's just crazy. And the crazy part is, I don't even know why she even had to go to jail because she didn't even do nothing. But the police just wanted to, do what they do. They say he been locked up for how long? No wonder they said he was in the jail. And when he see the jail guards walk by the women, he was entertaining himself. I said, what now? I don't know how they made it to the court documents. She said husband found those left. Okay, Bruce, at this point, I'm not even gonna ask again after the case over with. We gonna be banned. They finna block us. Oh my God. Man, y'all. The best chat. The best. Yeah. Oh, if they walk in at all, I'm done. And then after the trial over with, they at home making YouTubes and TikToks. Oh man, I'm gonna go on another vacation. I'm gonna shut it down. Oh man, that's crazy. But the difference is, I'm gonna point out the obvious difference. They are really close in court, talking and whispering, chit chatting, whatever. But on the YSL end, at least to me, I never seen, no indication that, them two would eventually get married and go on and have a relationship outside of the court. That caught me by surprise. It caught everybody by surprise. So that's how they were moving in silence. But I'm glad it worked out because obviously they building the brand now. They are building the brand, growing their channels and getting all these subscribers and all this. Yeah. See, I was surprised too. If anything, we probably thought it would be one of the other guys. One of the other guys that, she kind of more cool with. But when we seen that one, like, wait a minute, how they know each other? They cool like that. Look, hey. Yeah, they played it low key. But them be the ones you gotta watch. When they all in the open and stuff, they ain't got nothing to hide. You good. But when they too quiet, you gotta watch them. They said them the sneaky ones, the quiet ones. But they did it. They did good on that. They kept that one hush hush. And sometimes you got to, because if you start announcing it, next thing you know, somebody getting away and to stop it from happening. Brooklyn, while she said, "Who did Kayla hug that got the statement?" I don't know. I don't know if she ever addressed that or not. I don't know if she ever addressed it on her live if she hugged. Maybe she did. And it could have been him. I don't know. But we know Viverito was mad because, from my understanding, Viverito must have thought she was going with them boys. Just because she was supervisor of their probation, she acted like them was her man. She acted like Shannon was her man. Or Woody, her man. They don't know you. Because why would you go up to Kayla and say that to her? What did she say to Kayla? She said something disrespectful in the hallway. Somehow I heard you talking about me on YouTube or something like I can't remember what it was. And I remember Kayla said on her live that she went off on her. But yeah, we didn't talk about everybody in their mamas today as far as topics. Oh man, y'all. I'm glad I got a chance to come on here and talk with y'all. It's been a minute. Thank y'all for popping in and spending some time. Wait, what you say? What's the brand? I was just being messy when he said they are building a brand. Hey, and listen, they got followers. She got followers. Oh yeah. There you go. What she say? What she say? Next time you see me, don't call me no hoe. Or oh no, she said no. She said you're right. She said you got one more time to call me a hoe. That's what Viverito said to Kayla. You got one more time to call me a hoe. And look at me, I done sat here and said it 3 times on live. I'm quoting, Judge. I tell the court, a lot of times when I'm in trial and I'm reading something to the jury and I gotta, say some crazy stuff, I'll make sure I say, and I'm quoting here. This ain't me talking like this on the clock. No, I gotta say what the paper say. What Brian still said, he said the N-word. Judge said, you gotta say the word. You messing up my record. My court reporter don't know what the N-word is. And Woody said, what's the N-word? He said, can you spell it? Brian still starts spelling it N, I, G, and he said, oh, you mean, and he said the word. But my thing is, Brian still, I wanted him to keep spelling because I wanted to hear what that next letter was gonna be. Was it gonna be was he going for the rap? The rappers use the A, or was he the next letter was gonna be an E? Because then we gotta talk. We gotta talk, Brian. Still, we invite you to the cookout. What the paper say? Oh, but Woody stopped and he said, "Oh, you mean?" And he said it. And then Whitaker, the judge, got comfortable. And then next thing you know, Judge Whitaker started saying it. Oh, now okay, Whitaker. Now you didn't got comfortable. You didn't got Whitaker. That was a time for you to abbreviate. Oh yeah, thank you. Melly about to build his brain next. Yeah, he need to. And that's why I really hope Melly's attorneys consider coming on platforms such as YouTube. I was gonna say TikTok, but I think they finna shut down. So, because I believe that social media, the lawyers were pushing on the inside of the courtroom, and we on social media was pushing on the outside of the courtroom to make sure that those guys had a fair trial. So I really think that the YSL case had a different outcome because of platforms like YouTube. So I don't think it's a bad thing at all to come on the channel and talk about, you don't have to talk about details of the case, but just the general aspects of like the treatment in the jail, the constitutional violation and things of that nature, because it's already public. General counsel, what's going on? Good to see you. People don't know how much crazy stuff goes on in the courtroom. No idea. I had one judge recently. He was mad because I asked him to run I had a client that had multiple charges, and instead of paying court costs on all of the charges, I asked the judge to run the court costs concurrently. So he only have to pay the court costs one time. And it's just like, well, I would have done that, but you didn't come to my courtroom first. You were late. You go to other people's courtrooms before you come to mine. It was misdemeanor court. Like, I go in the order that I can. I don't just say I'm gonna disrespect one courtroom and go to another courtroom. But the judge just talking crazy. But he thought I was gonna play with him. Judge, we can both talk crazy. If you crying about a little $300 extra, I pay it myself. And half the time, you're not even here on time. So I can't come to your courtroom first. So I'm going to be sitting here wasting time. So yeah, it's a lot of crazy stuff that go on in the courtrooms, but it don't bother me at all. I know you got some stories. I've seen a man try to run and get tased in the court, and we were on the 20th floor in Houston. So even if you made it out the door, you still got the elevator to wait on, and then you got a whole lot of floors to go down. They're gonna be waiting on you before you can get out the door. So I don't understand what that was about, but yeah. Kayla needs to apply that energy she had with Viverito to Shannon, because I didn't like the way he was talking to her on one of the lives I watched. I had to exit that mess. Oh wow, Chelsea. Oh, I don't know what I missed. She said it with her whole chest. Then called him bro. Oh well. Yo, yeah, you get judges like that. Like, dude, go on now. Go find you somebody to play with. Hell, that alcohol gonna be there waiting on you when you get out of court. They don't like that. He was so mad at me. He was red as I don't know what. I said, dude, you just gave me some content to talk about when I get back to the office so we could talk about you. Oh, man. Hopefully he watches so he'll know, hey, find somebody else. What they be saying, find you something safe to do. At least we got a mutual understanding. But at the end, when he saw that I wasn't going to just let you talk crazy for no reason, he tried to shake my hand and clean it up. Dude, I'm not gonna go file a ethics complaint on you. I'm not gonna file on you this time. So he just shook hands and left it alone. But yeah, we get disagreements all the time. Lawyers, judges, we go back and forth. And sometimes you have judges like the one I just appeared before in Houston, and he was real cool, laid back. He found probable cause, but I expected that. It's a low threshold. Police officers find probable cause on the street, so of course a judge can find it in the courtroom. It's a low bar. But yeah, all right. Thank y'all for popping in. We're gonna come back. I want to say Thursday or Friday, maybe Friday. Because what's today? Tuesday? Yeah, I'm thinking Friday before the weekend. Somebody said, not the alcohol. How to call the 800 number. You know, they have anonymous numbers that you can call. If there's a fellow member of the bar, they have a problem, call that number and then reach out to that person and help them get treatment. Oh my God. That's it. All right, y'all. Let's go. Thank y'all for coming in, liking the videos and all of that good stuff. People that's new, thank y'all. And I plan to come back on Friday. I don't know what time yet, but we'll figure it out. But before I go, let me give my legal disclaimer. And no legal advice intended. I'm a lawyer, but I'm not your lawyer. I'm just here to talk that law. Thank y'all once again. Y'all have a good day, and I'll see y'all on the next one.